This time we are reacting to the Ubisoft press conference from E3 2016 that just wrapped up here recently. I'm Ben. That's Brent, Bender, and Viper Strike himself, Frankie Ayler, along for the ride as well. Gentlemen, say hello.
Hello.
Hello again.
Hello.
Now that we've got our introductions out of the way, let's get down to business. Of course, this is E3 week. We've already reacted to EA and Bethesda and Microsoft. So if you haven't checked out those videos after you watch this one, now we're talking Ubisoft, who presented a conference that was an hour longer than it needed to be. So, uh, my gosh, that was a long conference.
Yeah, it was.
So Ubisoft took a 1 hour conference and stretched it to 2 hours. Um, but regardless, they still had some cool stuff to show. There's quite a bit of stuff in here that I'm actually pretty excited about. They got the show started with this bizarre acid trip dance number to celebrate Just Dance. It was a very strange opening. The funny thing about this is Just Dance is coming to the NX.
Yeah.
So we got games confirmed for the system. We've got a release date confirmed for the system. We still haven't seen this damn system.
Right.
So this is just funny at this point. I just thought it was funny that it's coming to the NX, and we don't even know what an NX is. So
But like the first official game for it's not even a Nintendo game.
yeah, the first official game is Just Dance 2017, which will also be out in October on all other platforms. So if you're a Just Dance fan, check that out. Then from there, we started to get into the meat of the show with a game I remain really excited about, and that's Ghost Recon Wildlands. We saw, and this is the thing that Ubisoft did at this show. They would show us a trailer, then they would bring out the developer, who would introduce the game. Then we'd go through a gameplay segment, like a lengthy gameplay segment. Then the developer would close out that segment, give us a release date, and then they would show another trailer for the game. So it was nice that they spent a good amount of time on these games, but we don't need two trailers and a gameplay segment for each game. Just like, dude, what is going on here with this show? So so Ghost Recon, they came out, they showed us one trailer. The developer came out, hyped up the gameplay, showed us a gameplay segment. Then as I talked about, they showed another trailer after that. So lots of trailers, lots of action. This is our first like really meaty look at the gameplay of the game. The world, first of all, is gigantic. I mean, they said as much during the conference. They basically said this is the largest open world game they've ever created, which is saying something because they've made some pretty big open world games.
Hmm.
We got a chance to see the 4 player co-op in action. Um, got a chance to see what I thought was a really cool gameplay segment. We saw everything from synchronized hostile takedowns, kind of counting down and shooting people with silenced pistols. We saw an epic car chase, motorbike chase down the highway with with 4 players, which I thought was awesome. Saw people jumping in helicopters, all kinds of cool stuff going on here.
Hmm.
But I love the setting of Ghost Recon Wildlands. I love this grimy, drug state militaristic vibe that they're going for with this game. I think it looks like a ton of fun. Franklin, what are your thoughts on Ghost Recon now that we've seen a little bit more of it?
The game looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I like how you have the little drone toy he throws out to check out the area.
Hmm.
Just the seemingly the main villain in this game is a real scumbag.
Yeah,
So
it's like Crossbones from Captain America.
yeah. I'm looking forward to hopping into that one. I wasn't sure at first. Like I thought we were watching just single player, but I don't know if it's single player with drop in, drop out co-op. Is that what they were displaying here?
I
That's.
don't know because I'll go ahead, Brent.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's what I gleaned from this. I saw
Mhm.
like, this guy, because there's two guys playing, and then he's like, hey, you hear somebody else jump in and say, hey, do you guys need help? What mission are you doing? They talk. Mission like, all right, we're on our way, and they just seemingly drop into their game. So yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty neat. So that as long as everything works the way it was advertised, I don't care if we see a visual downgrade like with Division or whatever. I don't care. What I saw was fun. I want to play that. So I can't wait for that one to come out.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, just a lot of the stuff I saw of that game looked really cool. I actually think the game may have already had its graphical downgrade. As I was watching the trailer, I was talking to Brent. The environments look stunning. They look really nice. Some of the details and the characters and some of the other things are not there right now. So I don't know if that's going to be there in the finished product. We'll have to wait and see. But Bender, any interest in Ghost Recon? And this is kind of a dirty, grimy setting here. I'm not sure if this is something you get into or not.
It could be.
Yeah.
I did like the stealthy stuff. I thought that
Hmm.
looks really cool, like sneaking around, trying to take out guys silently without alerting everyone else, and just like kind of infiltrating the base and stuff like that. That all seemed pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it it could be something I could get into.
Yeah. And Brett, as I was watching that trailer, I was just thinking how cool it would be to just maneuver through this large encampment and kind of call out our shots, systematically take down guys, take down tangos. I mean, it looks like a lot of fun, man. What were your thoughts on? I know you're a big Ghost Recon fan. What were your thoughts on Wildlands?
Yeah, not just a big Ghost Recon fan, just a Tom Clancy fan. Like I just loved like the foundation of all the Tom Clancy games. It's built on authenticity, it's built on teamwork, and it's built on intense gameplay. And this looks to be the same. You know, there was one thing I noticed from the trailer. The one thing I took from the trailer was like, wow, it's a lot more high tempo than I thought it would be. You know, with Rainbow Six Siege, it's very slow, very methodical. Where this one, you can go either which way you want. I mean, you can go in stealthy, but man, when things escalate, they escalate quickly in that game. But yeah, like you said, you know, some of the character models were a little wishy-washy, but you know, hopefully that's something maybe they can add another layer before launch. I mean, this doesn't come out until March 7th, and don't get me started on the February-March thing, but. I mean, overall, I thought the gameplay looked intense. Like you said, there's a nice chase at the end. That was pretty cool. Everyone's kind of trying to like get around this guy and contain him, and then extract him. So
Looked like all four players too were in that, and at that time they were all on bikes. They were all like trying to chase down the car.
Yeah,
one guy's like leaning out the window.
Yeah,
shooting at
one
the guy
on a bike, two guys in a truck, and one guy in a Huey just chasing him down, trying to locate him. So no, I thought it was, you know, it's definitely got the coordinating, the teamwork is necessary. I'm down with that. It's got the tactical approach. You can go in stealthy. But I do like, you know, at first I was like, man, this seems like it's a little more high tempo, which I don't mind. I think that might actually turn out to be pretty good because if you go in slow, but hey, maybe some days you just come home from work, you get a rough day, you're like, you know what, I think I'm just gonna take out everybody on this map. So cool that it gives you different options how to play the game.
Yeah, and you know, I think the mechanics are there for a slower, more methodical approach. I mean, we've got the drones, we've got, you know, mapping out your area, we've got your stealth and silence takedowns and that kind of stuff. This may have just been a more high octane mission when it comes down to it, but it seems like the more methodical elements are still present in this game, even in this type of setting as well. But just and you mentioned it, Brent, March 7th on this, so yet another early 2017 game. I mean, March and February are now just jam packed with titles. Some of these games got to get out of this window. I mean, it's just I don't see them all coming out at this time period.
I mean, seriously, didn't every major title from this press conference get announced for the February-March range just about?
Dude, they're all in that running there. It's like the 21st of February is Halo Wars 2, 28th Horizon Zero Dawn, March 6th, 7th is now Tom Clancy's you
can go back to February 14th is For Honor, which we'll talk about in a second. I mean, it's
For Honor, Persona 5 are also coming out on the 14th.
The worst part is like these were games that were already delayed out of this year, so they've already been delayed. So wanting them to get delayed yet again, I understand for our standpoint because we're crazy and out there trying to buy them all, but I don't know.
That's tough, man.
I feel like it's going to be a similar situation to what we had this year. That we had a lot of games scheduled for February and March of this year, and a lot of those games hopped out of that window for whatever reason, whether they just weren't ready or they just got scared and were like, let me get further down the release line here. But I just think a lot of games are gonna be faced with that dilemma here. And the issue though is that, you know, we've talked about this before, but these publishers want to get these games out during the fiscal year. The fiscal year ends March 31st. So that's why these games are piling up during this window because everybody's trying to get that stuff out, juice up their year-end stats for when those financial calls come through to make the investors happy. So, but some of those games got to look at that schedule and be like, man, I just don't know if this is the best idea for us to release this game right now and just get swamped by some of these other games that are bigger than us. But it remains to be seen, man. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a few of those games delayed even further out of that window than what we've seen so far. So Ghost Recon looking awesome. And we got another pretty awesome looking game after that when we jumped into South Park, the Fractured Butthole. Once again, we saw just a ton from this game. We saw a trailer. We saw Trey and Matt come on stage, walked us through a couple gameplay segments. Just a very raunchy, dirty gameplay segment. They were holding nothing back during the South Park segment. You know, just as dirty as they want it to be with their language. We found out this game's in the Snowdrop engine, which is the Division engine. What I liked was the combat system we got a chance to see. So got a grid-based combat system. They mentioned it takes advantage of space and time. Time you manipulate through your farts. I guess they are powerful enough to rip through the fabric of time and switch people's turns on the battle board. But looks like the combat system is going to be surprisingly deep. Love the superhero theme in the game. Obviously, that wets my whistle. So, Bender, you're a big South Park fan. What do you think of this, man? I thought some of this stuff was just hilarious. So,
Oh yeah. I'm super excited about this game. This is probably one of my most anticipated games this year. I loved the first one. It was so hilarious and so wrong. And then and this one, they're just like you were saying, they don't hold anything back in these games.
Yeah.
They say whatever they want, and it's hilarious. And on top of that, the gameplay is fun. I mean, the turn-based battling was really cool in the last one. So I'm glad that they're kind of changing that up. I do love the superhero theme as well. The part where they're talking about the making superhero movies,
Yeah.
modeling after Marvel's strategy was
Yeah.
hilarious.
yeah.
They got a nice little dig in there towards DC universe too.
Oh yeah, they were letting them have it for good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this
Super
game
Craig,
looks
Man
amazing.
of Craig, is that the movie? Yeah. So
Yeah.
some really just hilarious stuff in there.
Mhm.
Towards the end there, they let us know that for pre-ordering the game, you get the Stick of Truth for free, and I didn't catch it at the time. It was brought up after the fact, but they showed the Stick of Truth for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. This game's not on a PS4 and Xbox One, or at least it wasn't before this conference, and it didn't dawn on me at the time. I was just thinking, oh, they're giving away the PS3 copy, but no, that wouldn't make any sense, of course. So the Stick of Truth is, I guess we've confirmed it's available now. Is that what we've confirmed?
I
What
think
have
we're-
we confirmed about this?
Loosely.
Loosely confirmed.
It seems like if you pre-order it digitally, you get it right now to download for free.
Mhm.
But if you pre-order the retail version, you have to wait, and it'll have a code in the box when it launches.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting from it.
We're still
Yeah,
trying to
there's-
confirm that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the digital version's up on the PlayStation Store.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if any of us have picked it up just yet, but it does mention pre-order now and you get access to Stick of Truth and some avatars, and it does say it's about a 6 gig download, so I could only assume that it's playable on PS4. So
Okay.
I imagine Xbox One is the same story.
Wonder if one of us should just throw out the Amazon pre-order and see if they send us a code, just to see what happens with that. Yeah, so there's some confusion because during the conference they said pre-order the Fractured Butthole, get the Stick of Truth playable now. Like, I clearly remember them saying that.
I do too.
Yeah.
There's a message on the Ubisoft site that also says that so we've pretty much confirmed that that's the situation with the digital version of the game, but the physical edition of the game, we're hearing the code is in the box, so we're not 100% sure on all the logistics of this yet. But at some point, you will have the Stick of Truth for getting the Fractured Butthole. Frankie, what'd you think of what we saw this game?
Looks really cool. This is one I watched Jen play through because at the time I wasn't playing any strategy turn-based games or anything. So this is of course being before I played the Banner Saga, but that game was really awesome. I was surprised because I really wasn't expecting a lot from it, but like that first game was really cool. So hopefully they don't have to worry about going through different publishers, developers, any of that junk. They can just focus on making the game they want to make, and it sounds like they're doing just that. And I couldn't believe a lot of the stuff I was hearing. I don't know why I'm surprised, but man, they really, really don't hold anything back.
Yeah, Cartman was just letting it roll during those scenes in the game. Brian, I'm not the biggest South Park fan. I don't really follow the show religiously or anything like that. But I thought this stuff was hilarious. I mean, I'm a big superhero fan, as you know, so a lot of the stuff they were talking about spoke to me. Well, what do you think of the Fractured Butthole, man?
I played a little bit of Stick of Truth. I played it for a little while, and I enjoyed that. And the superhero take in this one is hilarious. I mean, it's ripe for the picking in terms of like jokes. So I fully expect them to have a lot of fun with this theme. And from what we saw in the gameplay that they showed, it looks hilarious. And I do like how they changed it up where you can actually move around the map now. And kind of position yourself for your attack. So that's actually pretty cool. Give you a little more freedom. But the one thing that stood out to me is how you can pick your superhero's ability, and then how Cartman will draw up your backstory.
Yeah, yeah, on Coonstagram.
Yeah, I thought there's a lot of potential with this. I'm actually really excited for this game.
Yeah. So this game looks hilarious. We got a release date on this one that's not March or February. It's gonna be out December 6th,
Hmm.
2016. Which I think is a great release date for this game. It's
Mhm.
gonna be after the fall rush. It's gonna have kind of some weeks to itself, and we saw this release date utilized last year for like Xenosaga and a few other games came out around this time. Just Cause, so gives you a chance to kind of get one final release in before the end of the year, and get some time to play one of these games for a change. From South Park, you moved into the Division. You got confirmation that over 10 million players have now been shot in the dark zone by a jumping jack. Um, dude, no. So we got 10 million players in the Division. The Underground expansion, once again, coming to Xbox and PC on June 28th, August 2nd for the PS4. We got some rad Ghost Recon, Rainbow Six, and Splinter Cell costumes available now in the game as part of Ubisoft's 30th anniversary. So that's a cool little get for that. Now the thing is, we don't. At least I don't really understand what's in either of these packs. Like the Underground pack, they've said there's some type of a threat in the sewers or something, but I don't really know what goes into that. And then we saw a trailer for the Survival expansion, which looks really cool. And there's a blizzard, there's a storm that's involved in this.
Mhm.
You're being hunted by something. We have a coming soon date on that, so we don't have an exact release date on this either. But I don't know. Bender, what do you think of this, man? This Division stuff. Any of this jonesing you to get back into the game?
Not really. I mean, honestly, I traded in the Division, so I don't even have it anymore.
You son of a gun.
So you've lost
So-
all faith in this game.
Yeah. I mean, I was already losing interest in it. Then all the news came through about the bugs and all this stuff, and I was just like, I just don't have time for this game. I'm sorry. But it was cool, but I just don't know when I'll play it. So I probably I don't think I'll be jumping back into it. Sorry,
Obviously.
Felsi.
You should be.
Frankie, you ready to get back into the Division?
I still haven't got my copy back from my friend, so
Cool. I'm going solo on this. Great.
Does anybody on the show have the Division anymore?
I do. I still got it.
I still got it too. Brent, what do you think about what we saw from the Division, man? Any of this? I mean, I know you're not playing it right now either, but any of this get you interested in getting back into the game?
You know, it's a game I want to get back into. I know it had its problems. I know it had its issues. And I know, from my understanding, that they're doing what they can to get it right, to right the ship and make it right for gamers. But you know, the Underground thing we don't know much about. You know, the Survival trailer, while it was pretty cool to see it, and it didn't really tell me anything about what to expect from it. Yeah, you're out in a
No.
blizzard.
No, we don't really
you're,
know.
You're wandering about. You run into some people in the store that beat the living hell out of you, and then your team shows up and kills everybody. So it's just like, okay, well, that looks pretty cool. I don't know if this is something out beyond the dark zone or what it is. I'm not sure, but it's a game I want to get back into, but I have this fear that that I've moved on from it. It just didn't grip me like I was really hoping it would, especially when it had those issues and the balancing issues in the dark zone, people exploiting a lot of stuff. I mean, when you experience stuff like that, and if the developer can't reel it in quick enough and correct it, it just becomes off-putting, and you end up just going on to something else. It's just, maybe it's petty of me, but that's how I am as a gamer. I'm a first impressions type of person, and I really liked when I played it first. And then things started getting kind of crazy, and then after a while, you're just like, I'll just wait till they fix it, and then you find yourself waiting yourself out to not even play it at all.
There's no waiting in the video game industry.
No,
There's
there
always
isn't.
there's always another game to play. There's always a new game coming out next week. So
Mhm.
if you miss the boat on that one, then that's it. A lot of the time, you
Right.
you just miss the boat.
got an update
yeah.
on the South Park scenario.
Oh,
We have an update. Breaking news from
Just
Franklin.
pre-ordered on Xbox, and the game Stick of Truth is a download separately. There's a separate listing on the live as well. So there's a 360 one that's backwards compatible, but there's also one downloading is its own Xbox One version released today. And there's fine print. Stick of Truth is exclusively offered free for every pre-order of the upcoming sequel, South Park: The Fractured Butthole. So the only way you're getting this version is through pre-order as of right now.
All right, I'm gonna go do that as soon as we're done here.
Sweet. Thank you for that, Franklin. So and Brent, the thing with the Division is, now I would have liked them to come out on stage and maybe address some of these issues with the game.
Mhm.
Like they want to show us all this content, all this new stuff that's coming out, but why can't we address the problem with the game? Like everybody knows your game is struggling, and you come out and you show us not one expansion but two expansions, and neither one of them we have any idea what either of these are about, or have any concept of what's even going into these. I mean, the way they described survival, it sounded like it was going to be like a brand new experience,
Right.
a different type of division experience, but we didn't see anything to lend credence to that. So I would have liked if they would just come on stage like, look, we know we've had some issues with the division. We've been doing our damnedest to fix them. We have this, and this in the works to try and combat these problems. And rest assured, this game is in our portfolio for the long haul. We're tackling these bugs as best we can, and we want you to come back and jump into the game. Just something like that. I mean, they said that the divisions, they're going to be around for the long haul, but I don't know. They just keep trying to feed us this DLC, but the game doesn't work right now. So I thought that was a missed opportunity. From the division, we moved into the VR segment where we saw Eagle Flight, like a PvP session, and also Star Trek Bridge Crew, which I don't know, man, as a Star Trek fan, this sounds pretty cool to me. Being able to pilot the Enterprise with a group of people and go on missions or whatever with them. We don't know exactly what these missions entail, but there's definitely some potential in that concept. Bender, either of these VR games pique your interest at all?
Yeah, they both looked pretty cool to me.
Mhm.
I'm a Star Trek fan too, and I thought that
Yeah.
seemed pretty interesting to be part of a crew and work together, and
You get to take different roles too. Like we heard,
Yeah.
the engineer, and then there's the captain who's giving orders to the other people, and so you have different roles on the crew as well, which sounds pretty neat, man.
Yeah, definitely. Eagle Flight looks cool. I do want to try it out, but the whole esports presentation did not appeal to me. The PvP thing, and they had like commentators. I never really like that when they do that. But I
Mhm.
do want to try out the game for sure and see what it's like to fly around and see if you can get that sense of speed and everything like that. But yeah, it looks pretty interesting, both of them.
Yeah, and we've mused on this and on the podcast many times before, but it's very difficult to demo a VR game on stage. But I'm just imagining myself just being like a super dork and just like laying out on the couch, putting on like the mask and just like pretending like I'm flying like a bird through the trees and stuff. I don't know, this sounds like a cool experience to me.
I'll be honest with you, boys. I actually thought this was one of the better VR demos
Mhm.
that I've seen. I mean, I like the fact that they show gameplay, but I mean, what's important to me is seeing people get into it. And they did a couple of shots where they showed the people playing. I mean, they were really leaning into it. So
Yeah.
you can tell
Yeah.
it's a much different experience. I mean, when we're watching on screen, we're just like, oh, okay, you're flying around. It's a dog fight with birds, and you're trying to pick up a dead rabbit or something. But when you're watching the people play, I mean, you see them kind of swim and they're looking around. I mean, you can just tell it's a totally different experience when you put the headset on. And I'm just glad they kind of showed that. I mean, we've seen previous demos where it's just the video, or if it's just something that, like in the Sony demo a while back where it didn't work. But this one, I thought this was a pretty decent showing of VR. Not only the gameplay looked good, but just seeing the people involved and how it affects them. I think that does a little, somewhat of a good job of conveying that virtual reality effect.
Yeah, and they brought Oculus founder Palmer Luckey on stage too for that segment, and we're like, look, this is the guy that made Oculus, and he's excited about this game. He plays it all the time, so this is something you need to be excited about as well. Frankie, either of these VR games do anything for you?
Not really. I'm not really a Star Trek fan, so the whole segment didn't really do anything for me at all. But I don't know. I don't really think flying around as an eagle, catching a thing and dropping it in a goal is all that exciting. I would be like more intrigued if like a wild game that's coming out was in VR. That might make sense to me. But this, like Bender, just esports. The second any kind of esport thing comes up, I'm tuned out.
Cool. Yeah, but I'm interested in both these. Like I said, I've been interested in Eagle Flight for a while, so that one will actually be out this fall on all platforms. And I believe Star Trek's out this fall as well. So I'm really interested to see what the Bridge Crew is all about. I don't know how much of a full featured experience this is, or if this is just like a kind of a taste of what might be to come. I don't know, but it seems like a very interesting concept. After VR, we moved into For Honor, which is a game I think looks ultra badass. So we got to see some footage from the single player experience, and this is one where I thought the initial trailer was really effective because they gave us some backstory on the game. They kind of showed there's some lore, there's something to the narrative of this game. It's not just dudes like beating the hell out of each other. Like there's actually like a grander story going on in the background here, we were introduced to the 3 player classes in this game: Viking, Samurai, and Knight, which is cool. I didn't realize there was going to be that element of the game as well. Like I said, we got a pretty lengthy segment of what appeared to be a single player experience where a Viking crew is storming this samurai stronghold, and man, this guy's just like running through here like Sandor Clegane, just with an axe, just tearing through people, and that this game looks badass, man. Frankie, what'd you think about what you saw from For Honor?
I wasn't even expecting like what it was because I didn't
Yeah.
see the trailer last year. I heard things that I assumed this was another first person game, like a first person melee driven game. That's what it sounded like to me. But I didn't look until
Yeah.
what we saw this year, and I don't know. It kind of got like a Rise meets like one of those Dynasty Warriors type of games. Just like you have a ton of enemies in front of you that you're just laying waste to. So it looked really cool. I was genuinely surprised at how cool it looked, and that's one I'll be picking up on day one on Valentine's Day. Don't know if I'll be playing it because yeah,
Valentine's Day
that was really
joint.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So once again, February, March, stacking up with titles. For Honor releasing the same day as Persona 5. Bender, For Honor do anything for you, bud?
Nah, For Honor is not a Bender joint.
Not a Bender joint.
No, it doesn't really appeal to me. It seems like a lot of hacking and slashing and not much else. So it's probably one I'm gonna pass on.
All right, well, to hell with you, Bender. Brent.
Have fun
So one of the things I really like from what we've seen in this game is the intense like one-on-one combat. Like you get into these scenarios where there's like dodging and parrying, and there's like a real strategy that evolves as you get into some of these more in-depth one-on-one combat scenarios. What do you think of For Honor, dude?
Oh, dude, this is right up my alley. I mean,
Yeah.
it'll speak a lot to my type of interesting games to Benders. This is right up my alley. Just the combat looks sweet. I mean, it is a brutal. It's violent. It's just it feels like a dude bro type of game.
Axe to the nuts, like violence. Yeah.
I mean, there are some deadly finishing moves that we saw. I mean, vicious. Barbaric. I mean, it was just a totally awesome looking. I'm definitely on board for this. I would like to see a little bit more from the multiplayer side. And did they mention if there's going to be co-op in this?
That I don't know.
Man, I would like to see some co-op. But some of the takedowns, I mean, I'm all over For Honor. And Valentine's Day be damned. Melissa's going to watch me play this for a little bit. I say that now.
Yeah.
Until
she picks up some moves from it.
right. She comes downstairs with a fire axe. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
This is what you want, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think For Honor looks rad too. You can register for an alpha now as well.
Yep.
Which I'm assuming might be multiplayer focused.
I hope so.
Not sure. I don't have a website for that. Anybody catch a website? forhonor.com? No, nothing.
No.
Oh yeah.
Look up.
Yeah.
Look up.
Like that 400.com.
Yeah. Look up For Honor Alpha on Google. Go sign up for the alpha.
That's how we inform our listeners and viewers. Just go to Google.
Yeah, that's how we do it. From there, we moved into Grow Up, the sequel to Grow Home. So we saw Bud back on the scene. I didn't play Grow Home, but heard good things about it. Bender, I know you like Grow Home. It's a Bender joint, right?
It is, yeah. I actually reviewed it for the site and everything. So
more so than For Honor.
Yeah.
Grow Up actually coming out this August, so very very soon here. Grow Up will be upon us. So from what you saw from the trailer, how does this one different from Grow Home? Is this just a character you're excited to get back into?
Yeah, Grow Home was a really unique game. It was very interesting. I gave it a decent score when I reviewed it.
It was awesome, according to you.
It was awesome. It seems like they iterated on a little bit. I mean, I'm sure see Bud had like a glider or something like that. In the first game, he could kind of glide a little bit with like a leaf or a sunflower or something like that. But it looks like he had more of a propelled type of glider in this one. So
Like
I'm
he
not
was
sure what
flying at one point or something.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So I'm not sure what other sort of improvements they'll have on the gameplay or anything, but had the same unique art style and everything. The lighting in that game was really, really cool. Like it had a day-night cycle, and as the sun would go up, you just see the shadows move across the landscape and everything. and it was really cool. So yeah, I'd be willing to get back into that world. It was an interesting game.
Hmm. Frankie, you played Grow Home at all?
I did not. I want to, because I know Bender gave it a very glowing review at the time.
It was awesome, according to Bender.
Mhm. But no, not yet. The trailer for this actually looks really cool too. So one of these days, I'd like to get into those.
Yeah,
You guys should
it's
check
like
that game out. It's really not that long of a game,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
it probably won't take you too long to get through it. But it's very unique, so I'd say it's worth checking out.
Looks like a nice whimsical title.
Mhm.
Brent, did you play Grow Home?
I played a little bit of it, not enough to form an opinion on it, but
You got to the title screen.
No, I think I climbed my first beanstalk and fell to my death, or I can't remember what
nice.
happened. But I got a little bit. I played a little bit of it, but I decided to get into something else. But I do remember Bender giving it an awesome score, and
Awesome.
this is something where I should probably revisit that game when I get some time. Preferably before February and March next year, apparently. So because there's no room to play anything by then. But no, I'm interested to check this one out.
Nice. So, Grow Up, a nice little surprise. Once again, that'll be out this August on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Then we went back to the acid trip scene with Trials of the Blood Dragon. We saw what I thought was an awesome trailer with like an 80s action figure commercial shtick to it. This just looks it's just totally insane. I mean, it's Blood Dragon and Trials mixing together. And if you've seen some of the stuff that Trials has done recently, like the wicked, awesome flaming cat thing, I don't remember what the name of that thing was, but they do stuff like that. Blood Dragon, obviously, just totally over the top. So to put both of those properties together, I mean, you're doing tricks from Trials. You're shooting things on your bike. I mean, there's guns. I mean, there's just all kinds of crazy stuff going on here. Um, Frankie, you just bought this, right? Didn't you?
No, I
No?
just
You're
looked
just
to see
thinking
if
about it?
Actually, yeah, I was thinking about it. I had a good time with when I played a Trials Fusion, and I like Blood Dragon, so
Trials is a
again, I'm
great
gonna
game.
have to pick that up. It is. It's so addicting.
Trials
But,
is a very good game.
Yeah, it's only $15 on the PlayStation Store, so I will get around to that sooner or later.
Yeah. Bender, any connection to either of these franchises? Have you ever played Trials? Like you might get into Trials, man.
Never played Trials.
Trials is fun for everybody.
You would like
Get
it,
into
Bender.
it.
Give it a try, dude. Give it a try.
Remember, he thought the gun-toting
Oh.
unicorn was stupid.
Oh,
It's because I
Remember?
never see anything about this game. I have no
Have-
idea what I'm looking at.
have,
Dude,
have you
it's-
no soul, Bender?
It's a little kitten riding a unicorn, wielding dual pistols, and you were like, this look. I remember
It
he's.
didn't
I remember
tell
he.
me
No,
anything about what the game is.
it doesn't have to. It's a kitten riding a unicorn.
Seriously, that thing could be a screensaver, and you're just like, this would be awesome.
Yeah, and I think I remember him saying he either said meh or this looks lame. I was just like, what? Oh
Yep.
my goodness.
At that point, Bender suddenly dropped from the call for unforeseen reasons.
We just see the spinning
Yeah.
circle. Where'd he
Yeah.
go?
Like, that's weird. Oh well, the show must go on.
I'm just trying to get Benner to drop one F-bomb, and I can't seem to do it. I just called him out right here on a live stream, and look at him. He's just biting his lip, and he's like, I'm just not going to heal you on Battleborn. Ha! So he's going to have his revenge one way or the other.
So Brent, Trials and Blood Dragon, two great tastes that taste great together.
Oh, dude, I'm picking that up. I mean, that's no brainer. I love Blood Dragon, and Trials is incredibly addicting. And adding some shooting elements to this, and with the crazy over the top visuals, yeah, I'm this no brainer.
And once again, that's out right now. So that was the
Now.
Ubisoft was like, hey, go get this right now. It's $14.99. Detective Frankie has discovered. $14.99. Get it now. PS4, Xbox One. Is this PC as well? I don't remember. Probably is.
If that.
So go on Steam, get it off there too. Then we saw some stuff from the Assassin's Creed movie. Moving on from there, Watch Dogs 2
Yeah.
then took the stage and gave us a nice little lengthy demonstration of this game, which I think looks really freaking cool. We got our introduced to the new protagonist. We saw some gameplay in action. Saw the cool surveillance drone that he has. Once again, November 15th, the release date on Watch Dogs 2. Frankie, what are your thoughts on what we saw from Watch Dogs?
Watching him run around reminded me of Infamous for some reason. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's just.
No, it was fast. Like, it was fast paced the way he was running around. Infamous was ultra fast the way you ran through the city.
Yeah, yeah. So there's that. The gameplay, just the gameplay loop that looks like it'll be a lot of fun.
Hmm.
The only thing I don't think I like the character. Like these trailers just make him come off as a rebellious, angsty teen wanting to be one of the cool hacker kids.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get he has a sense of purpose in this game. Maybe that's the point. Maybe he kind of learns who he is throughout the game. But at least the first game, you understood Aiden and his whole like his drive to do what he was doing in that game. Marcus doesn't really seem like he's got much of a personality that I'm going to relate to. So
Mm-hmm.
Bender.
This game actually looked really, really cool to me. I never played the original Watch Dogs. I don't know a whole lot about the franchise other than he's a hacker or something. Um, but I just really liked the way that they presented the way that you can like infiltrate the building or like sneak around and hack things to cause diversions. All that stuff seemed really cool to me. So this is actually a game I might want to check out when it comes out.
Yeah, I mean, you can hack anything. I mean, the way you saw him hacking cars in here, there's basically anything around you you can hack into and use for your own advantages and purposes. San Francisco looks really cool. Looks like that's going to be a cool setting for the game.
Hack the
Um,
planet.
hack the planet. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't really too worried about the character like you were, Frankie. I mean, I just don't think we've seen enough about it yet to worry too much about it yet. We'll see once the game comes on the scene how the story eventually plays out.
Mm-hmm.
But Brent, what were your thoughts on what we've seen from Watch Dogs? I really like the animations in this game too. Very very cool looking animations.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can tell that this is going to be a different type of Watch Dogs game compared to the first one. The first one was a little bit more gritty, a little bit more serious, I would say. This one, although it looks like it's a little more action oriented, but there's still stealth elements to it. But it just seems like it's a little bit more upbeat than the previous Watch Dogs. It's just a different attitude about this game, a different approach to it. It just feels and sounds a little bit different. I'm still really interested in it. I mean, San Francisco looks like a bustling city. It looks like there's a lot to do. I especially like the infiltration mission at the end where you have to sneak into this building and try to, get out with some information. But yeah, I mean, this, like I said, as long as they're building on the foundation of the stuff that worked in Watch Dogs, and maybe adding a more unique story. Maybe the character, maybe Ubisoft is keeping some of the information under wraps for don't want to spoil the plot. Whether or not this character turns out to be a cool character or ends up being like the dude in the Scalebound video and just annoying after a while. But I'm not really sure. We don't know really much about his story or why he's here or what his part is in this whole game. But overall, I think there's a lot of potential here. I think it looks really good. It seems to be running well, and it's got a lot of the good things that made Watch Dogs interesting.
one
Yeah.
of the things I thought was hilarious was after he was done hacking at the end of that scene, Oda Joy starts playing
Dude, that was
with like
awesome.
the DedSec logo flipping him off.
Yes,
That was
dude, that was
hilarious.
awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. We understand too that they've completely reworked the car mechanics in this game too, so those
That's a plus.
should handle a lot better
Mhm.
as opposed to the first game. No, that was a major complaint from that one. Um, After Watch Dogs, Eve came on stage, gave us his one more game as he does every year, and this year was Steep. Maybe a little bit of a different game than we were expecting. It's an open
Much.
world action sports game. So we saw characters parachuting, snowboarding, skiing. The wingsuit looked like a lot of fun in that game. Wingsuiting down the summit of a mountain. We saw some first person skiing, which was pretty intense. But yeah, they positioned this as this like giant open world mountain thing that you could go and explore and meet people on there. You can get into competitions on there. So I don't know a lot about what to expect from this game. Sounded at one point like there might be a story involved in this as well, some type of a story mode. But yeah, a lot of the stuff that they showed looked like it could be a lot of fun. Bender, what do you think about what we saw from Steep?
Steve looked really beautiful. Like
Yeah, it was a
I was
stunning
very
game.
impressed by how
Yeah,
how good it looked. I do like snowboarding games. I mean, there was a time when those games were really huge and
SSX man.
SSX. Yeah, I love those games. Um, I hope it has some sort of objectives or something, some sort of point to what you're doing instead of
Mhm.
just skiing down a hill or
Yeah.
wingsuiting or whatever. Although that would be fun, but I just want there needs to be more to keep my interest. So
Mhm.
I hope they didn't really say much about what you're actually doing in the game other than just exploring. So I hope there's some sort of point to what you're doing and not just going down a mountain and going back up and coming back down again.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's one of the big questions after the reveal of the game is what actually is the point? Like, what's the driving force behind this? Are there tricks? You know, is there any of that type of gameplay in this? Is it just they showed like a what looked like a free roaming kind of mellow mode at one point where you could just kind of go around the mountain and do what you please? But they have to have some type of objectives or races or something in this game that to keep everything going. Frankie, what'd you think about Steep?
This is the game I actually would have preferred was like their VR showcase.
Yes.
This game looks like it would be great in VR.
Yeah, so you make you probably piss yourself. You're
Yeah.
wingsuiting down a mountain.
Right? That could be really freaking cool though. So I was kind of bummed. Maybe that's a down the road thing. Maybe this is a VR game. That'd be great if it was. But otherwise, I don't know what I would be doing with this. I do like, I got into SSX Tricky and Dark Summit, but I don't know. The wingsuit stuff looks pretty cool. It looks a lot more. What's the word I want to use? Flowing. It flows a lot better than what it was in Just Cause 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, some of the stuff in it looks cool, but ultimately, I don't fully know what that game is. And knowing that it's not a VR game, I'm not sure it's something I'm really that interested in.
Mm-hmm.
Brent?
Honestly, I'm almost willing to bet that this will slam dunk. This will end up being a VR game at some point. I mean, some of those shots from the first person mode while skiing and looking down at your body. I mean, I'm like, this has to be down on one of these VR headsets. It has to be on the list. I mean, just the way some of those first-person perspectives, this has to be a VR game. It's a beautiful-looking game. We talk about SSX, looks something along those lines. I do like the races that we did see, how you can challenge friends. Like, you'll be standing on top of the mountain, and you'll see somebody come flying in, and you can accept that as a challenge and get on behind them, and then you're basically racing through, like, with the wingsuit on. I thought that looked incredibly intense. But yeah, like the visually striking game, it looks to be some high intensity moments. But like you guys, I want to know what else there is to this game. Is this just going to be like a competitive game where you jump in, it's open world, or is there going to be some kind of a narrative? Is there going to be a whole other side of the game that they haven't shown yet? From what we saw, I would have guessed that this is going to be a competitive game, and there's going to be some kind of VR functionality. I can't see this game not having VR at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I was watching this game, I thought maybe it would eventually be something like Burnout Paradise.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of big, open world, all kinds of different objectives and things you can do around the world there.
Right.
Then with the added like social element of the other people that are on the mountain with you. So I think there's a lot of potential in this concept. I mean, extreme sports they're just fun in video games. It's fun to fly around in a wingsuit. It's fun to snowboard and ski and all this stuff. I mean, it's fun to do in a video game. So if they can figure out an attractive package to wrap that up, and I think Steep could be a really cool franchise. This one's coming out this year too, I believe, and they say December.
Yeah, December.
Yeah, so it'll be out later this year.
Oh.
This was the new IP that Ubisoft was talking about for this fiscal year. So Steep will be available this December.
Cool.
That was the end of the show after that. So fellas, let's wrap this up. Frankie, overall impressions of the Ubisoft conference.
It wasn't bad. A lot of weirdness, which I guess is normal for a Ubisoft conference. I don't know. I haven't seen one in a couple of years, so
yeah, they're normal for that. They've given us like too much coffee, man, or whatever that guy's name was.
Oh yeah, Mr. Caffeine.
Mr. Caffeine, yeah. So they've given us they gave us the laser tag game on PC. And they've given us their fair share of weird moments over the years. So this is par for the course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very very weird. But all the games they showed, at least the majority of the games they showed, were really cool. I really want to play Watch Dogs 2. And Ghost Recon just looked awesome. So even For Honor, like I am actually really excited about that game now that I've seen some gameplay. Looks to be something a little bit different, and that's I love variety. It's what I love about gaming. We can all play all kinds of different stuff. Everything I feel like that I'm interested in from the show is something drastically different. So it was a good time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ubisoft definitely has a diverse portfolio of titles coming out on the horizon here. Bender, overall thoughts on Ubisoft?
It was a good show. A little drawn out, but overall I liked it. Super stoked about South Park. Yeah, really drawn out. But I'm super stoked about South Park. Can't wait to play that game. I'm probably gonna pre-order it so I can start playing the Stick of Truth
Oh
and
yeah, you are.
get through that game again. Because that game was so much fun. I loved it so much. But yeah, it was really cool. Watch Dogs 2 looks great. You know, Steep looks beautiful. Lots of good stuff. So it was a good show overall.
Brent?
You know, I went into this press conference super excited to see more of Ghost Recon. I was excited to see more of Watch Dogs 2. But for me, For Honor is the one that just kind of ran away with the show. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Ghost Recon looks good, but I've played a lot of tactical shooters over the last year and a half. I mean, we've had Rainbow Six Siege, we've had The Division, we've had other games. So, I mean, I've had my fill. I mean, I'm excited for Ghost Recon. I'm sure it'll be a great game. You know, and then Watch Dogs 2, Watch Dogs didn't blow me away. It was good. It had some strong elements to it, and I'm hoping that Watch Dogs 2 is able to build on that. But for me, For Honor just looks like something unique, something I haven't played in a while. A game where you just it looks totally different from what I've played lately, and I'm just really excited. I thought the gameplay looked good, it looked fantastic, and that brutal combat. Oh my lord, yeah. For Honor is probably the one that jumped out at me the most for this press conference.
Yeah. And, we saw a lot of cool stuff during the Ubisoft conference. Like I said, this thing was about an hour too long. This thing ran almost 2 hours. If they would have condensed this into an hour and just like hit us over the head with all these great games they had to show, this would have been a really strong conference. But they drew it out, inserted some things with like movies and some other stuff that we really didn't need in here. So it could have been a stronger conference, but there's a lot of good stuff like you guys mentioned. Ghost Recon looks awesome. South Park looks funny. For Honor looks awesome. We got the Grow Up. We got Watch Dogs 2 Steep. Like there's some very cool looking games at the Ubisoft conference that I'll be excited to play through the weeks and months ahead. So that's gonna wrap it up for the show. Follow us as always at the Short Pause on Twitter, www.shortpause.com. Follow us on there for all your E3 coverage. Our E3 Central page is on there, so you can get to the site. Click on there and follow all of our coverage. We got the Sony conference coming up tonight. Excited about that one. That goes live at 9 p.m. Eastern. After that, we'll be back to do another one of these reaction shows. We'll all be here for that one. Our Twitter handles right up here. Just grab those. Follow us on there as well. Brent, what else do we need to tell the people?
I think you nailed it, buddy.
Cool. So that's gonna do it for this one. Once again, we'll see you back sometime after 10:30, 11, somewhere around there, as we wrap up the Sony conference. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you later.
See you guys.
See ya.